All right, everybody. Are you prepared for a headline that is going to make you more terrified of a second Trump presidency than you ever thought you could be? Get ready for an absolute screamer. Trump says he'd put Elon Musk in charge of proposed efficiency commission if he has the time. That's right, Donald Trump has promised to put Elon Musk into a position of government if he gets elected. Former President Donald Trump outlined his economic proposals if he is elected to a second term on Thursday, while throwing his support behind a government efficiency commission pushed by Elon Musk. Speaking to the Economic Club of New York, Trump said the commission's creation came at the suggestion of Elon, and Trump said it would be tasked with conducting a complete financial and performance audit of the entire federal government and making recommendations for drastic reforms. A good example being how Trump has vowed to defund all public schools that require students to get vaccinated. Not just the COVID vaccine, any vaccine whatsoever. As in, like, if your school requires that you get vaccinated, it's getting closed or they're removing that rule, and you better believe a lot of kids are coming to school unvaccinated. Well, chickenpox has been around Perry Icefire. It's always been a thing. More like welcome back polio, which is going to make a comeback. Welcome back Spanish flu. Welcome back, what was the really awful one that came back? Smallpox or something like that? Like something awful recently came back. Measles? Was it measles that came back? There's a really bad disease that's cropping up in red states right now because of the anti-vax stuff. Yeah, tuberculosis. Yeah, just MMR in general. Yeah, Trump is fully on the anti-MMR train, where if your school requires the getting of the MMR vaccine, then it's getting full defunded by the federal government if Trump gets reelected. Which means, like, either we will see millions of children die to preventable disease, or, like, Americans' education standards are going to drop immensely, as only private schools, like Republican-leaning private schools, are allowed to exist with any federal funding. Anyway, speaking to the Economic Club of New York, Trump said the commission's creation came at the... Oh yeah, I already read that, my bad. The former president said Musk has agreed to lead the task force if he has time. Trump said the commission would develop an action plan to eliminate fraud and improper payments within 6 months. This will save trillions of dollars, he said. It's massive. Musk endorsed Trump following the assassination attempt in July and was one of Trump's most prominent supporters, hosting a one-on-one interview with the former president on X, formerly known as Twitter, last month. The tech billionaire suggested openness to working within the commission in a social media post Thursday morning, saying, quote, "I look forward to serving America if the opportunity arises." Though the move could spark conflict of interest and concerns due to Musk's business empire, he added that no pay, title, or recognition would be needed, quote unquote. Trump also touted that the economic accomplishments of his first term in his remarks on Thursday and criticized the current economic environment under the Biden administration, and while also contrasting his vision for the next 4 years with what Vice President Kamala Harris has laid out. Quote, "I'm here today to lay out my plan to rescue our country from this nightmare," Trump said. Trump outlined that he would implement an energy policy that would roll back regulations on American energy to cut energy prices in half within a year of taking office. He pledged to end electric vehicles. What's actually going to happen is oil companies are going to drop the prices for gas, and it's going to cause natural gas prices to go down, so places where people rely primarily on gas for their heating and stuff are going to see a drop in their utilities. But in reality, it's not due to any of Trump's policy. It's the fact that the people who decide those prices like who's in power now and want you to like who's in power now. Trump outlined that he would implement and pledged to make his 2017 tax cuts permanent and to cut taxes even more, while also touting his no tax on tips policy that made waves in recent weeks. Quote, "I am promising low taxes, low regulations, low energy costs, low interest rates, secure borders, low crime, and surging income for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed," Trump said, claiming his plan will rapidly defeat inflation. By the way, record low inflation rate right now. Quickly bring down prices and reignite explosive economic growth. Trump's support for the Government Efficiency Commission aimed at slashing costs comes as the former president's economic proposals have been criticized for the likelihood that they will inflate the national debt, as we talked about earlier during the Trump-Kamala debate. Meanwhile, both Trump and Harris have been making their respective economic pitches to Americans as the campaign heats up. And without a doubt, it is obvious at this point that abortion and the economy and immigration are the biggest wedge issues of this election. There's literally no issue, arguably no issue more than the economy that will decide this election. If Trump wins, it will be because the American people have been convinced that his presidency means a better economy. That will be what wins him the election if he wins, is this Trump means good economy narrative. And he has a point in the sense that people remember Trump's presidency as a time of good economic prosperity. Interest rates were low. There was a pretty low rate of inflation. They had nothing to do with Trump's economic policy and more to do with Obama's and Biden's. But regardless, Trump still gets the credit from the American people of people thinking back to his presidency as a good economy presidency. Anyway, on Wednesday, Harris proposed policies at a campaign stop in New Hampshire aimed at spurring small business creation across the U.S., while calling for a smaller increase than President Biden has proposed on capital gains taxes. The economic push comes as Americans identify economic issues as a top priority, there you go, heading toward Election Day, as Trump leads with people who say the economy is a major factor, according to CBS News polling. There it is. Trump is currently leading with people who say that the economy is a major factor. This election will decide whether we reward Kamala Harris with re-election and 4 more years of crime, economic calamity, and international humiliation, or whether we change that direction and once again build the greatest economy in the history of the world, which we had during the Trump administration, Trump said. Once again, economists across the aisle claim that Trump's proposed tariffs would cause an increase in inflation and would blow up the trade deficit. It really is wild to me that Donald Trump is just Donald Trump feels like the kind of guy whose entire success is predicated on being a failure of a human being who slid through life on handouts from his dad, notably. Who's a complete failure, who stumbled his way into success, who is basically, I really think what he is the mascot for the iconic dumb American. The iconic, stereotypical dumb American is more common than you think. And I think that Donald Trump has made his entire political career off of appealing to those dumb people. The people who want to fail up, who want to look at Donald Trump, someone who's as much of a loser as them, and think that it is possible under a country run by him, that people like him, people who cheat on their wives and don't try or do anything, just Nepo babies, can reach his level of success is under his presidency. Trump appeals to people like him because they think that if he runs the country, then people like him will be successful. And that's why people like Trump, on a personality level, like him. That's why people who support Trump so often emulate his behavior, his way of speaking. They emulate the way he dresses and the way he moves when he's speaking. You guys have noticed that, right? I feel like Trump is less so a political candidate or a macho strongman and more of a message from the losers of America that they are strong and numerous enough to affect the world still. And that one of them can become president. A criminal, adulterous, lying, cheat, scumbag scammer who'll do anything to get by as long as it improves his bottom dollar and will lie and cheat his way through it. That people just like that can be president. People like Trump, who like to lie and cheat their way through life, who slide by on nepotism and handouts, and judge everyone else despite that. Those are the people who see Trump, and they love him. Because they see a liar and a cheat, and they think, man, I'm a liar and a cheat too. If a guy like me ran this country, I bet my life would be so much easier. That's what Trump supporters see and what they think when they want to support him. I wouldn't be surprised if Trump's parents had him on accident. Maybe. Yeah, a lot of Trump supporters genuinely think he's just like them. How many times have you heard the talking point that if they can do it to Trump, they can do it to you? Usually in reference to criminal procedures or criminal proceedings about Trump using his presidency to, like, build himself up, to sell out the American people to benefit himself. How often have you heard that referred to, like any form of consequences that referred to as if they do it to Trump, they can do it to you? If they can get you for giving hush money payments, illegal hush money payments to a porn star you cheated on your wife with, they can get you for it too. He's just like you guys. Because yeah, to a degree, they would do exactly what Trump would do in any of these situations, and they don't see a damn thing wrong. I've heard my own parents say it, TBH. Yeah, many of you guys who have conservative family might have seen them get comfortable enough to let the mask slip to that degree. A lot of the people that you know, like imagine the shittiest person in your life, more likely than not, they're a Trump supporter. Not because they necessarily wholeheartedly, principally agree with Trump's politics, but Trump as a person is someone they identify with. That's really a lot of it. So many of the shittiest Americans, the shittiest people who make life in our country suck, just on a personal level, support Trump because they identify with him. Trump is the representative for the worst people you know interpersonally. He is their hero, their representative, their message to the country that they're powerful enough to control the country. I just want you to think about that. That Trump is every annoying asshole you've ever known's message to this country that they could be the next president. Just know that. And Elon is one of those people as well. One of those awful, annoying, shitty people that sees a Trump presidency as a sign that people like him, people like them, can be overwhelmingly successful. Not just successful, but the most successful. Period. People honestly look at Elon a lot the same way. He's the most rich man in the world and also just as much of a failure, a loser, and an awful person as them. And they see that you can be as much of a loser as Elon Musk and still be the most successful and powerful businessman on the planet. Both of them, of course, inherited money from rich, wealthy fathers, who honestly probably inherited their wealth from a rich, wealthy father as well. Anyway, hopefully this motivates you a little more to recognize how terrifying the idea of a second Trump presidency is. It's not even just how great Kamala Harris would be, as she would be great, but we have to stop Trump. He has to lose. Get out there and fucking vote. And if you're not registered to vote, make sure you are. Stop putting it off and register. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video, or found that you learned anything from this segment, or you were entertained by it in even the slightest way, please consider leaving a like. Every thumbs up really does go a long way to help the channel, and it really means a lot to me, so thank you guys. Subscribe and ring the bell icon if you haven't already, so YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload a new video. And if you haven't already, please consider following my social medias, linked down below to see me on other platforms. And you can also join my fan Discord, where I'll likely be hosting a watch party right after this stream. If it's not in the PV Discord, I'm going to see how that's like set up right now after I wrap up stream. And I also host game events there and announce all my new uploads and streams, so you won't miss anything if you're a part of my Discord server and have announcements turned on and enabled. Yeah, so if you also want to support me directly and you feel so generous, I would really appreciate it if you did. You can donate, subscribe, or gift a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or support me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, or Patreon. But really, with all that said, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have been amazing. Just really all day today, you guys have been amazing. And yeah, have a good one.